hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip
Bars is back.
hip hop,
Sam
hip
Ant.
hop,
Oh God.
hop,
What's
hip
up with you?
hop.
I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not culture vultures, the culture something they been into. So if you never gave them a view, I recommend you do. Cause when they question guests, they message is not subliminal. It don't matter if you a rookie or at your pinnacle. They gon' touch on stuff that
diminish or
you
belittle
did,
what the players had already done for stepping up for that one game that they said they would stand out. Who knows how many games they're going to hold out. But be careful for the people that's talking about, what's the plan? What's next? We said y'all should have a plan. Y'all ain't got no plan. What's next? What's next? Like Chris Webber said, man, it's steps. That's a big step. But be careful and pay attention to these folks. They're talking about, what's the plan? Why you ain't got no plan? I always said, what's the plan? We wouldn't tell you the plan anyway, because all you're going to do is tell it to the ops. And if you did know the plan, or if it was a plan that you did know, you ain't got the guts to carry it out anyway. You just want information. You're not finna carry the plan out, so what you want to know for anyway?
Here, man, because it's a scary time right now. We raising black children, and the shit ain't cool, man.
Yeah, and this is going to lead us into our next topic, Sandman, the NBA boycott, as they call it. Yesterday, you said you were watching, I guess, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
And they just didn't show up on the court. And it appears that, all over the NBA, LeBron and all the other players was voted to not come out. And there's been even rumors that they were going to forego or not play the remainder of the NBA playoffs. And this is all in response to not only George Floyd, but the Jacob Blake situation, the brother who was shot 7 times in his back. And but then today, on our way here to the podcast to record, we seen that it may have been a change, and we see that the NBA may be going on. Now, we don't have any clarity right now about the Clippers and the Lakers, but it looks like they're going to continue, and all the NBA is going to, come back. But let's go back to tomorrow. Yesterday, I should say, because we weren't here.
Yeah.
When it happened, we already had left for the evening. And we heard about these boycotts. Sam, man, what was your first thoughts when you heard about, all right, they boycotting to protest police brutality?
It made me think of John Carlos and Tommy Smith sitting there putting up the black fist after they ran in the Olympics and just showing solidarity. It made me think of my favorite athlete of all time, Muhammad Ali, going up there and saying, Viet Cong ain't never called me nigga. And you know what I mean? And saying basically he's not going into the military, he's not enlisting. And it just made me think of prominent athletes during times where their voice was needed, stepping up to the plate and giving a voice to voiceless people. When you look at a scenario in the NBA where it is 95% black, and in social media age where these brothers are allowed to express their voice and their opinions like no other, it was very admirable to see that. When you look at a Milwaukee Bucks team who's miles away from where this incident and this situation happened, although being in a bubble in Orlando,
right,
it was very important for the Bucks to go ahead and take a stand. Shout out to Giannis, shout out to the squad for going ahead and taking that stand, and then the rest of the teams following. It trickled down into the WNBA, trickled down into some of the MLB teams. Hockey didn't give a fuck. They go ahead and played and did what they had to do. That's their choice. That's their right. This is America. They could do what they do. But it just goes to show you what kind of impact it has. In less than 12 hours, there were conversations in fear of, oh shit, what happens if this happens to our baby? The NFL, who's set to kick off in 2 weeks exactly. This, that, or the third. So it was really creating prominent change. LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, their two respective teams saying, fuck that, we're not playing in the playoffs at all. We're out. The LA market, if you really understand basketball and business, the two biggest markets in the league, going out there and saying they're out. It was huge. And then you think of the Portland Trailblazers going against the Mavericks. It just doesn't hit the same.
Right.
If in fact that would have happened, man. So it was a lot going on. It was impactful. You heard a lot of people upset. It was a lot of ruffling going on. It was national news. And it had the potential of really doing something great.
Yeah.
That's what I think initially.
And now, we're hearing that it looks like they're going to continue, which is really a shot to the stomach to me, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, they had so much momentum. And it was so unprecedented to see. Because remember, a few months ago, and probably last year sometime on the podcast, we used to always talk about this. The NFL, for the Colin Kaepernick thing, should boycott.
Last 4 years since
we've been saying it, but we was like, will it really happen? Nah, maybe not in our lifetime, but we actually had the opportunity to see All right, look, they said, F it, I ain't playing. Forget the game. You're not going to sit up here and watch us dunk the ball and do all these tricks while our brothers is getting shot down in the street still by police. Shot down 7 times. I'm not mistaken, the dude is paralyzed right now. Condolences, to his family, and in horror they had to go through that whole time. But to me, I wrote it down saying, man, it comes down to the dehumanization of a people. And the brother yesterday, Mr. Creighton, Robert Creighton, actor, he broke it down great, but I'm going to add a little bit more to it. And it didn't only happen to black people. Let's just talk about the people that it happened to, that people can relate to real quick. The Jewish people before, Hitler, they had a massive media propaganda campaign who dehumanized the Jews, that made them look or made them, appear less than human. Before that even happened, it happened in the United States, where it was a propaganda campaign, and it's still happening to black people. Yeah. But what we were just talking about, it's made us to look like drug dealers, made us to look like, animals. So now that when we getting killed in the street, nobody cares, because they're an animal anyway. They're not a human anyway. We could take their life. And that's why it's all important. And I understand we come from the trenches and all that, but it's important. Politics, it's important, music, it's important for the athletes to use their platforms to denounce all that nonsense. I know we all love it sometimes, but it all leads to us getting killed and shot down, and nobody giving a goddamn, because they think that we're not human. They think that we deserve it. You got people actually out there that think that we deserve to be killed for just resisting. You said the dude you grew up with, played football with, is on the internet running around saying he should have complied.
Yeah, half black.
Yeah, half black. So it's just like, damn, dog. Like, even if you don't comply, you don't deserve to die. The motherfucking cop is not the judge, jury, and the executioner. He's supposed to apprehend you and get you to wherever you got to get to, whether it be prison, to sit in front of the judge. He can't be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So in my opinion, the NBA, it's a black eye now. You can't come out here one day and say you're going to do it and sit out for one game. That's not going to do nothing. They got to be prolonged periods of boycotting, prolonged periods of saying, you know what, fuck you, do something about it. That's what I'm going to stop it at.
My biggest fear is this, oh God, and I said it in pre-production, I'm going to say it here on the air, I'm going to put it out there, because when I was watching it, it made me look at November. And obviously all this shit is going on during a political campaign. And black people's biggest campaign right now is getting Trump out, getting him out. Vote. Okay, I'm having a feeling that we're going to see a lot of our prominent NBA players pushing vote, get racism out. And I just ask you this, I just implore you this. If in fact that does happen, are we to assume racism stops? Are we to stop there? And if your favorite celebrities or athletes do stop there, what does it really say about everything we're seeing going on? What does it really say about the T-shirts? What does it really say about the hashtags on the court? What does it really say about what's going on? And are people fucking with us? Ask yourself that for real. Because if all of this just leads up to somebody being voted out, and then the same shit continuing, just being ignored and thrown under the rug because we got somebody that dances like us and eats chicken and shit like us, like we gotta be better than that, man. And I hope that's not where it's going, because we got good brothers in the NBA. And I don't want to believe that everybody's fucking paid off, but it just seems like we feel as though voting is the end all be all to the nonsense and the absolute atrocities that we see going on, not only the last 4 years, but 8, 16, 24, 32, and the years go on, man. So let's not get caught up in that, please.
You got to be aware, like I was saying earlier, for anybody who's just telling you to vote, just go vote to change this. Just go vote on your municipal level. Just go vote on your local level. Just go vote for the primary. Fuck all that shit, man. Like, it's not just one answer. It's a lot of different answers. The first thing is to start boycotting. Vic, brother, our intern, put it very well when our pre-production was talking rap, and he said the reason why civil rights was so successful because it was long periods of doing this. Like, we boycotting for year, two. You know what I mean? We stopping. We ain't taking our dollar over here no more. We shutting this shit down. We ain't taking it to this store. We ain't buying Cadillac no more. We ain't buying Gucci no more. We ain't getting Mercedes. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. It ain't just no one answer like, oh, you do this, you do. No, it's probably 1,000 different things that need to be done. But you got to start somewhere. You can't have nobody like a Stephen A. Smith who came out strong yesterday, but today started talking about the collective bargaining agreement. You need to have a fucking plan. Sometimes you don't gotta have a goddamn plan. Sometimes we just wing that shit. Everything we done wasn't a fucking plan. Sometimes you gotta just wing it and make things happen. You know what I mean? When you go along, and it might not be the best way, but sometimes the best way ain't the way. Sometimes you gotta just do it.
Facts.
And then put something together along the fucking way. But the first step should be saying like, all right, if you're going to toy with it, you might as well do it. Don't just toy with it. Do it. Boycott the shit. NFL should boycott. Anything that we are predominant in, we should boycott that shit. But is it going to happen? Probably not. I'm probably blowing smoke right now. But if you want some real change, drastic stuff has to happen. And anybody who tells you, oh, this dude's crazy, this, that, how the fuck was this country started? It was starting people blowing motherfuckers up, doing shit they had to do. And not that I'm saying doing that, but it was founded on war and fucking conquest and taking and saying, you know what? We got to get the fighter jets up in the sky. You know what? We got to get the battleships out in the motherfucking ocean because they ain't listening to us. They ain't talking. It got to be something different. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah, or we're going to see more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. Oh, God, I couldn't agree more, man. Great job.
Definitely. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get into the viral sports podcast. The viral sports podcast is going to be dropping real soon, man. And we got a lot of content to drop on there. So stay tuned within the next week or so. We'll be dropping episodes on that. We got the room cleared out. We already got all the equipment, so that's nice. So we're going to get that shit done. But man, yeah, definitely. Sorry we got to shorten the program up today, but we'll be back with you guys tomorrow to rock out.
Indeed, man. And the shit's looking lovely, man. Shout out to the great people over at Canon, the great people over at Shore, the great people over at wherever else the fuck.